welcome back to the Aligned and Unstoppable podcast. I am your host, Emily Aarons. Warm welcome. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all of you who've been dedicated listeners for years, and welcome to the new folks who are here. So I've decided to record this week's episode as there's sometimes I just feel called to share these insights and get it out there to the masses as fast as humanly possible. I don't know. I guess it's in my nature to do this sometimes. So if you are a podcast listener and not yet on my email list, make sure you get on the email list so that when I do send out notifications, you will get notified right away. When I do this, as a lot of times it's very last minute. So if you just happen to be on email or happen to be on social media, you might catch me. And I usually do these live streams on Facebook or on Instagram. So I'm going to dive right into it. The topic of this week's episode is the 7 reasons why you're not fully booked and how you might be sabotaging yourself. So I'm going to be going through a list of 7 reasons and the things that I'm seeing very frequently with clients. I've also had these things happen with myself. So this is not just what happens to other people elsewhere. I've also experienced this myself. In addition, I'm going to close this week's episode just really talking about some ways that we can self-sabotage. And these are things that are like, under the radar. They're sometimes unconscious. And so we might be knocking ourselves out of the running for getting more customers just because we might secretly having these thoughts. So you're going to want to stay till the end, and you're going to want to take notes. Right now, I'm not sure if we're going to have an attachment to this week's episode with a PDF. Usually with checklists like this, I like to have that. So I'm just going to be fully transparent. I don't know yet. So grab a pen and paper. I want you to write these things down because this is not only about some great tips that I'm giving you and some things that I see regularly, but I want you to not just take note, but I want you to take action. Okay, so it's one thing to know where you might be having trouble, and we could call it a money block. We can say, oh, well, I just have this issue, right? But it's beyond the money block. And so you listen to this podcast or you follow me on social for a reason, okay? You are here to make an impact. And you also are here to make income, my friend. So you might be a service provider. You might have products. For those of you who are live, let me know. Do you sell products? Do you sell services? Do you sell both? And I want to also let you know that this podcast, this live presentation that I'm doing right now is basically just a little piece of what you're going to get inside of the Intuitive Leadership Series that is coming up October 26th, November 2nd, and the 9th. So it is a series, and it is for people who are coaches, healers, practitioners, or who want to start a new career in one of those realms, and you want to be able to stand out from a crowded market. You want to be able to help people, but you also have to overcome things like visibility and charging your worth. And so we're going to be doing a lot of workshopping in that series. It's a really low, affordable price for those of you in M&A. You get half off. So use that coupon code that's in the group. If you participate in Intuition Month, you have a special coupon code as well. So let's dive right into it. If you want to join the workshop, it's emilyaarons.com/leadership. Even if you join after we start the workshop, that's okay. You'll get all access to the full recording. So let's dive right in. So the very first place, the reason why you're not booked is, number 1, you are not establishing how many sessions you have. So I know this sounds so elementary, and it is, okay? But I see this all the time. So you're not establishing how many sessions you have. So to get fully booked, you need to know what that even looks like. So do you have a booking link that tells you there are a specific number of appointments this week? Yes or no? So what's your exact availability? So I'm just going to say, for example, and I'm going to talk kind of fast through this. You might want to write it down. Let's say you have availability Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m., but you only do 90-minute sessions or 90-minute appointments. What does that mean, Emily? That means between 9 and 2 o'clock, you should not have free reign to book whenever you want to book in that time frame. And yes, that sounds really type A and like controlling. And there's a reason for that. Because I know for me, in my experience, when I've had availability like that and I didn't have specific appointment slots, people would be like, you'd say, when do you want to come in? And you know yourself, you're like, I have the whole day available on Wednesday. It really doesn't matter to me. I'll just take them whenever they can come. That is a broke ass decision. That is a broke mindset. So when you make an appointment, let's just say for the dentist, when you make that appointment, do they tell you they have the whole day available, or do they give you specific time slots and you make yourself available? The latter. So you need to look at yourself in the same exact way. So you have a specific appointment. If you're 9 to 2 and you have 90-minute sessions, you have a 9 a.m. to 10:30, you have a 10:45 to 12:15, and you have a 12:30 to 2. So that means you don't have a lunch break, and that could work for you or not work for you. For me, I don't usually eat until like 2 or 3 o'clock. I have a big breakfast in the morning, then I just like go hard all day. Not hard. I work from 10 to 3, so it's not like all day. But my point is like if I'm taking appointments, I only have certain time slots available every single week. Why do we only have those three? The 9, the 10:45, and 12:30. Those who are live with me, why do we only have three? That is because now I know I have 9 appointments per week. If I'm available Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and each of those days there's 3 appointments, that equals 9 appointments per week. Does this make sense so far? Am I talking too fast? I want to go through this quickly because I have a lot to share with you. There are 7 ways that you could be not booking yourself, and I want to get through all of them as quickly as possible. So if you know you have 9 bookings a week available, now you can understand how to make a goal. Number 2 is that you're not setting goals. See how they kind of like one washes into the next? So you're not setting goals. So you might have a goal. Yes and no. Tell me more, Laura Beth. Tell me more. I'm going to keep going, but I'll come back to you if you can explain. So if you're not setting goals, how do you know you're going to hit your target? So why you don't set a goal is usually because if you don't hit it, you're going to make it mean something terrible about yourself. I know that because I used to do that crap. And it doesn't actually mean anything terrible about yourself. On the other side of goal setting, when you make a goal, let's say your goal isn't 9 people a week, it is 4 people a week. That's how I start. I start off 5 people a week. I said, I'm going to have 5 customers every single week. When I started setting goals for myself, and I really started to amplify my message and my reach, I said 5 every single week. So there were weeks when I had 0. There were weeks when I had 1. But you know what? Pretty quickly, I was hitting that 5 every single week. And I'm banging my hand right now, okay? So I hit that 5 every single week because I knew what I had to do, who I had to become, what type of gal gets 5 consistent clients every single week. And then we'll talk about the self-sabotage in a minute. But this is it. Yes, it makes sense that I'm not talking too fast. Thank you. Great. Sometimes I get really excited and I just go like blah, blah, blah. So let me know. And this is where you can put the pen to paper. What do you currently sell? How many of those do you need to sell to hit that goal? And we can just call it like that one session. So even if you know you have these 5 appointments, what is that appointment? And in the workshop, the Intuitive Leadership Series, we're going to talk about how to create this one standalone offer that is like your signature offer. Because we'll talk about this in a second, but one of the bigger problems that gets diluted is that you have like too many offers, not enough offers, yada, yada. So not setting goals. So if you have a goal, let's say it's 5, let's say it's 10, whatever it is for you, how much are you making in those sessions? Okay, so look at that. Number 3 is you're not tracking your sessions or your income. See how they one stacks into the next. This problem, I got this problem, and then it leads to this problem. So tracking. Look at your numbers. Why don't we look at our numbers? Because they look like shit and we don't want to look at the shitty numbers. It's as simple as that. It's the same reason why we don't often look into our bank account, right? If I open it, I'm going to get that lurch in my stomach and I want to throw up, or my heart's going to start pounding and I'm going to feel like crap because I'm not good enough, I'm not making enough, and I just don't like any of that. So I'm going to just put my head in the sand. I'm not going to look. You can't make me. Do you see how childish that is? It's not mature. It's not responsible. It's not a baller, badass business woman, person, whatever. So I want you to have your numbers. I want you to look. Thank you. It's so juicy. You're welcome, Tracy. And it does help you set boundaries. Yes, Laura, it does. So, okay. Let's talk about numbers. What was your income? You don't have to post this when those who you on live, okay? What was your income? Write it in your journal, put yourself, just keep it to yourself. What was your income for the last 30 days? Write it down. If you want to make a guesstimate, make a guesstimate, but then literally look at how much income you made in the last 30 days. Do not skip the step. This is not, I'll do it later, because you won't. Be honest with yourself. I know you won't, because I never used to do that later. I used to keep a record on like a notebook, clipboard thing, and it was in pencil. And I would then put it in an Excel spreadsheet, and that was like my bookkeeping. It was total garbage. And also, I wasn't making any money. So it was like, I really didn't have much to look at. So I just kind of kept it kind of crappy. And then when it was time to pay the taxes, and I'd be like, well, it was like kind of maybe probably this. Oh, and I also did that chair massage gig. Oh, and that other person hired me for a private party. Oh, and I also did that other thing. Oh, wait, what was my mileage? We will get into that later. I'm not even going to talk about that right now. But you need to understand what your income was, okay? So do you have a ballpark number for that? I would hope so. What would it look like? And more importantly, what would it feel like if you doubled that number? Think about that. This is the stuff that makes your business explode. When I started to get really serious about my business and started to do these different things, everything started to change. So take that number and double it. What does that feel like for you? So in my business, when I started to look at my numbers, I looked at hitting a big, unrealistic, crazy, bonkers goal, which was essentially to hit $100,000 in my business, when for years I had been consistently making like about $12,000 to $13,000 a year. Okay. So in effect, I was having to multiply, not just double, not triple, but 10x. And so thank you for participating, Laura. It would feel amazing. All the other live viewers on here are just keeping quiet to themselves. I don't know. How would it feel? Can you imagine? Or you're just not even going there because it would feel too damn good. So think about that. What happens is it causes you to become a different person. Oh my gosh, I would feel like this. Well, when you've made double, like, how do you show up differently? Do you show up more confidently, more charismatically? Do you feel healthier, more full of vitality and energy? Do you have more to give? Do you feel more worthy of raising your rates and charging your value? Like, think about that. Everything it's like the big domino, like boom, boom, boom. All of it starts to shift when we start to look at things like this, okay? Now, you had to look at what it would take to create that, okay? Let's go to number 4, not creating upsells and downsells. So think about the offer that you have, okay? I'm gonna take a sip of water, give you a chance to breathe. We'll all take a moment. Okay. Think about what you are selling. Is there something else that you could sell that would be complementary? Or could you do something maybe to get to that big goal a little bit faster with less effort by you? So if I see a lot of you guys are both service providers and you have products. So you are winning so hard, you don't even know it. So physical products or digital products are an amazing complement to the work or services that you are providing. So yes, it would definitely feel better about raising my rates. Exactly. Heck yeah, if I double where I'm at, I'd actually hit my monthly goal for this year. Then what is stopping you, Jackie? Like, the only thing is stopping you is, guess, you. So I want you to take this moment. Think about the thing that you do. Is there something else that could complement it? It could be a lower price point or it could be a higher price point. It could also be something that takes little or no effort by you. So I'm going to give you a few examples as we move on in just a moment. I think I wrote it in this one. Or maybe I just have it in my later notes. Ooh, I think I might have it in my later notes. Let's see. Ooh. I might just give you some options. Yeah, I don't think I have it in this section. I have it in my other notes because this is part of a huge workshop, the Intuitive Leadership Series. We're going to do so much good stuff. You are going to love it. And this is why I'm saying double your income in the next 30 days because you're literally, if you do these things, you will increase your revenue. I don't know how else to put it. And this is not an overpromise. This is a truth. Like, it will work for you if you do these things. Okay, so some things are upsells or downsells. So I'll give you some examples right now. I think I need a little bit of Emily. Hi, Chris. Good to see you. So an upsell or a downsell, and feel free put your own in if you have ideas. So you all know I do energy healing, but I also have a whole membership that is full of recorded energy healings and meditation. So an opportunity for me to do a downsell would be to give, or to sell, I should say, a meditation, whether it's a single meditation or a bundle of meditations. Let's say somebody's coming in working on money blocks. Okay, I happen to have a whole bunch of abundance meditations for you. In fact, I have free ones right on my website. If you go to my website right now, you can get 2 of them for free. But I do have multiple that I sell at a low price. So that could be an opportunity. An upsell could maybe be, instead of doing one session, you do an ongoing package of sessions. And the problem with that, so I'm not going to go crazy on this one right now, but the problem with a lot of folks who are making packages, you're only thinking about yourself and your bottom line. Like, oh, I could sell one session for 100, but I could sell 5 of them for 500. Or 150, I could sell 5 for 500, right? You're going to save them some money. But who said they wanted that? That's the biggest problem with that crap. It's like, I used to do that too. I'd be like, here's a package. And then everyone was like, so? And next? They didn't want it. So you're not doing any kind of research to know that that is even what somebody wants. So what the hell is the point of having these packages of, oh, you can have 12 readings? You're like, well, who said they wanted 12 readings? Like one person? Okay, well, make the packages for that one person. You can offer it somewhere else, but is it really something that you want to do ongoing? What if 100 people bought it? You're giving yourself. So what I'm talking about is an upsell that is higher value, maybe more in depth, and a higher price. So if somebody wanted to work with me, let's say in a group coaching program versus one-to-one coaching, so they're getting a whole lot more of me and the price point is 5 times that. You see the difference? Or the downsells could be a complementary. If you do tapping, if you do hypnosis, if you do NLP, if you do recipes, if you do organizing, if you sell a product that they could go with it, always offer that downsell. The more successful I get, the more me I feel. I am so with you on that, Laura. I am so with you. I love making money and money loves me. And I truly feel like that. When you're in a relationship and things are going so well and you're in that ooh phase, that's how I feel about money. And it never used to be like that. This is part of what we're doing in the Intuitive Leadership Series, is we're going to go into the wounds of the money blocks and into that ancestry, and we're going to be digging up some stuff, but it's going to help you to identify from the unconscious place to the conscious place of what the hell has been going on. Why have I been self-sabotaging? Why have I been stopping myself? And now that I know about it, I'm going to stop it right now. Okay, so you can really grow so much when you do deeper work, and you can heal relationships with money. And it really is a relationship. So it's like, are you in a functional relationship or a dysfunctional relationship with money? It's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother day, but I'm going to keep going my goals. All right, so number 4, 5. I have them lettered. That was silly of me because they're letters and I have to figure out what E is, right? It's 4. It's 5. My bad. It's 5. That's embarrassing. Okay, so 5 is you're not creating packages that people want. I literally just said that. I'm preaching. You're not creating packages that people want, mainly because you are not taking the time to do your research. Again, in this workshop series, we're going to be doing research. It's 3 different classes over the period of 3 weeks. So you're going to come to class prepared, and you're going to have some really good data to share with us. And I will be calling on you. So if you guys have registered, I'm looking at you who've registered. Be prepared. I'm going to send you some information week after week to say, here's your homework. I want you to move the needle and do these things. I'm going to ask you for this data when we come to class. So, are you creating packages that people want, or are you just making bundles of random things, right? So the next one is number 6. You're not doing any kind of outreach. You're not emailing. You don't even have an email list. Most of you, some of you, or if you do have an email list, you don't even email people on it. You're like, I don't want to bother them. They signed up for my email list and they wanted to hear from me, but I just don't want to be in their inbox. Give me a break. Networking, you're not doing any networking, whether it be virtual or in person, to get customers to know about you, people to know about you. And that networking also includes like joining, memberships, joining courses, or something with a community or masterminds. You're not doing the networking thing. You're not collaborating. So that could be podcasts, classes, or special things that you do with another person. So, let's say your buddy has a Facebook group, or they have a course in a program, or they have a podcast, and you're not pitching yourself to be on it. Like, hey, why not? Tell me, put a number 1 in with the live comments if that's you. If you're not pitching yourself to do collaborations, you're not networking, you're not doing the outreach, the emailing, you're not DMing people. That's a big one. You're not making any connections for how you can serve now or in the future. So, I get people who reach out to me all the time. Why is this hidden? I'm going to unhide that. That's silly. I get people who reach out to me all the time who literally just say, like, I love what you do. I cannot afford you. I want to work with you so bad. I just don't have the money. But I'm obsessed. I'm on your email list. I got your free thing. I don't want you to think I'm a freeloader, but I just don't have this. And it's my life circumstance. Like, that person is telling me in very clear words, I will not work with you today. However, I do love you. So this kind of thing happens all the time, and I'm positive it's happening to you too. Thank you for all the honesty with all the ones in there, everybody. Angie, Jackie, Chris, Lauren, Cindy, thank you. So this is the thing, right? It's not only about right now. This is going to be one of my other tips, but people are saying, I'd like to work with you. It's just not right now. And so some of you take that at value and go like, I'm worthless. I obviously don't have anything good. I should create lower price things so that person can afford me. Please, God, don't do that. Oh, okay. We're going to talk a lot about that and creating offers that are really in alignment with you and your value, and to help you understand that you are the value. And so I'm totally good if you have a meditation that's pre-recorded, if you've made a cool workshop. I'm going to talk about myself. I made a workshop on crystals about 5 years ago. I have sold that thing easily thousands of times over. I did it for free one time. I opened up a Facebook group and I was like, hey, I'll teach this class. if you bring your friends into the class. And at the time, my goal was to bring more people into my Facebook group, because at the time, Facebook groups worked more than they do now. They didn't have the algorithms like they do now. So, or they were different. So my goal was, I'm going to teach this class and I'm going to save it and I will sell it at a later time. Now I do that. It's a great opportunity for me to do something one time and repurpose it multiple times. Because if I sell, even at this podcast right here, it's recorded on video. I could totally download this video and sell this as a free workshop or as a paid. I mean, I could easily charge $15, $20 for this information. Who are on? There's 20 people who are on right now. Do you find this valuable? And just like humor me, if it was for sale right now, what would you pay for this information? If it's helpful, is it getting you to think? Is it getting you to realize what you're doing wrong and how to do something differently? What value is it bringing to you? And it won't hurt my feelings if you're like, I wouldn't pay for this, man. This is sucky. Or if you're like, no, it's so valuable. Like, it's fine. You can just say whatever here. I'm just asking because you're on live with me. But my point in it is saying, you might have things that are so valuable that you just have stuck and held hostage inside of your brain. And if you were to share it, you can repurpose it and sell it multiple times over. And it doesn't take any effort from you. Okay. So what I mean by that is, like, we're talking about outreach and classes and podcasts, right? So those things will live on and on and on. And that's a way that you can serve people in the future, and you don't have to discount yourself. You can just give them something else. Like, there are plenty of folks, if I said, like, right now, guys, who wants to work with me one-on-one for the next 6 months? Who wants that? Tell me. You want to work with me for 6 months, just you and me privately? You can have me in your pocket. I'll be on Voxer. I'll be on email. I'll have your eyes on stuff. I can pull random cards for you. I can channel for you at nauseum. And we'll have healing sessions every single month. And I'll teach you how to open up your intuition more and how to utilize that to really maximize your growth in your business. I can do that for you because I've been doing this for years, and I can promise you results because I know that that's what I do. But how many of you are willing to invest in tens of thousands of dollars for that? See, that's the thing, is I am the value, but I can break off little pieces and I can scatter them all over the internet, right? Have a little piece here and a little piece there. And that's what I do, is I can give value. It doesn't have to be all of me and my time and my energy, but it can be something that's like a wonderful nugget. Everyone's saying yes. Heck yes, I'd love to, right? Heck yes, thank you very much. But also, why? Why would you say heck yes with enthusiasm? Why would you say heck yes with enthusiasm? Because most likely you've been around for long enough to know I've proven myself. I have a track record, and I am confident that I'm going to get you results, okay? This is why we have to play the long game with our customers, that the person who is ready today, sure. But then there's people who are like, I'm going to be on your list. I'm going to hang out with you for the next few months or few years. And then at that time later, then maybe I'll buy something. Maybe. I love that. Give a nugget. That's all we're doing, Tracy. And that's what my podcast is. That's what social media is all about. That's what my emails are meant to do. That's what my mini master classes do. That's what my workshop that I'm doing, the intuitive leadership series. As much as I can say I could give you more, which I totally can. It's a 3-part series, the intuitive leadership series. So it's 3 different sessions over the course of 3 weeks. And I'm going to give you as much value as I can in that short amount of time. And it's still just this tiny little crumb. I have so much more to give and share. But what I want to do is make me more accessible, so I give it at a lower price and I can have more people involved. So I'm hoping to just cap it at about 100 people or less. I don't want to have this a gargantuan list of people in this intuitive leadership series. I want to be able to be up close and personal with you. Hell, 50 people is amazing. It's amazing. So I'm not going for big numbers here. I'm going for people who are ready to do the work. So I'm going to put my link in here to us. I haven't done that yet. EmilyAarons.com/leadership. And that's how you get a ticket into this series. All right, you guys ready to wrap it up with the last thing that you're doing that's making so that you're not fully booked? And then we're going to get into the ways that you sabotage yourself. Who's ready? If you've been enjoying this, please hit those like thumbs up and hearts and those sorts of things. I would love, love, love. Trying to get out of the whole transformation mindset. What does that mean, Tracy? Okay. And nobody answered me. What would you pay for this workshop? If this was a workshop, think about yourself as a business-minded person. Like if somebody was selling, so far we're at 30 minutes. So let's just say a 40-minute workshop that's going to tell you about where you are blocking yourself, why you're not fully booked, and the different self-sabotaging tendencies that you might be having. Think about it. Would you pay for this? What would you pay? And be honest. Like think about that. Think about it right now. I'm just curious what you would do. The final one, number 7. You're not seeing the long game of nurturing. I kind of just tapped on that, right? You're only focused on the people who are booking today, and it can take people months or even years to trust you. Excuse me, that was a good release from you guys. I can feel the energy shifting. It's like, oh my gosh. Oh yeah. And think about your own buying patterns. Think about people who you've trusted or bought things from. Like, did you just see them once and you're like, I'm buying from them, the end, right? Or do you wait to see, like, are they proven? And I'm going to tell you something, having an online business, everyone is skeptical of you, right? They see you, or if you run ads, God forbid, they're like, are you even legitimate? You're probably not, it's phony, right? Everyone is such, like, they're so suspect of like whatever you're doing. So you really have to show people. The good news is if you know what you're doing and you are the real deal, it will show very, very quickly. Same as if you're not. Although I've seen people who are like kind of full of it and they still have like mega fans and followers who are kind of hypnotized. And there are also people who use hypnotic language to literally hypnotize their audience into buying, which is another topic for another day. I'm not going to talk about that today. But I will say this is your visibility and dropping those little crumbs, those little nuggets, the collaborations, the podcasts, the videos, the classes, the meditations, the whatever, tapping scripts, whatever you're doing, are these little trail, this little nugget bringing Hansel and Gretel right to the cottage, the cabin, whatever that was. Tracy said stress overcharging their whole life over 1% needle move. Yeah. It's the transformation. But you know what? When you start to understand what you do and how you do it, and different from everybody else, it's going to make that a whole lot easier to communicate. And that is actually something that we're going to be talking about in the leadership series, is being able to clearly articulate what you do, who you do this for, and why it matters right now. These are the most important reasons that people will or won't buy from you. I had this really funny, I was on Instagram and I saw this really funny audio clip, and it was like, it's like, I don't know, and it's like a mumbling, and like, this is how most transformational healers describe their work. It's like gargly gook. And oftentimes you're adding in your toolbox. And I use oracle cards and I use crystals, and then I use somatic body release and pressure point and trigger and like, you've already lost people. You don't go to the mechanic and you're like, tell me, which wrench are you using? What diagnostic tools do you use? How long is this going to take for one thing to the next thing to the next thing, right? But we don't look at ourselves as healers and coaches in the same way. We're like, we need to justify our prices, so we have to tell them the 900 certifications I've just earned, which is why I'm charging 30% undervalue what I should be charging. I won't keep going on that one. Okay, so let's get into some of the self-sabotage. So number 1, and I want you just to drop the number if it resonates. So number 1, if you were successful, then who would you be? It's like you're a stranger to yourself. Like for me, I was this broke healer for a very long time, embarrassingly long. Not embarrassingly, I'm not embarrassed by it. I had to go through this so that I could do what I'm doing today. To say to you like, hey, if I can do this, then so can you. I mean, I've been doing this for 23 years, and 15 of those years, I was struggling. I was broke. I was barely making it. And so, if I can turn everything around and now help tens of thousands of people all over the world, I think you can too. Like, it's possible. Okay. And I think that's part of it is an identity shift is like, oh my God, I've always been broke. So then, like, who would I be? Well, like some like wealthy lady? Okay, now what do you believe about wealthy people? Ooh, there's like so much digging and so much that can come up to the surface when you start looking at these issues. This is not just mindset work, this is the energy work. This is also bringing the unconscious or subconscious up to the conscious reality. Number 2, drop a 2 in if this is you. How would your friends, peers, or family members look at you differently if you were successful? Put a 2 in. If you think about like, wow, that hits home. Like, would my friends even want to be friends with me? Like, we're always talking about how poor we are. We're always talking about this. We would have so little in common if I was suddenly like super wealthy and successful. Number 3, what would be expected of me if suddenly I had tons of money? What if I had so much money and free time? What in the actual world would happen to you? What would actually happen? That's number 3. What would be expected of me? Number 4, drop a 4 if this is you. Can you even maintain success long term? So that's another one. Like, all right, so maybe I could have like one thing sell, but like every month, every year, like consistently. Like, that's a whole nother bag of worms. That means I'm going to be tracking my bookkeeping. That means I'm going to be tracking numbers. What if I'm going to have a team? What the hell? I have to make them enough money to have a team. I'm going to pay more taxes. Okay, and number 5, drop a 5 in. What if you become so successful that when you make a mistake, everyone can see you? You've built this social platform, first of all, everyone's complaining, I don't have enough followers, my reach isn't getting good, no one's viewing me. Yeah, well, what if you suddenly did? What if you had 1 million followers and 1 million people on your email list? And then you messed up. And then it was everyone seeing you doing a face palm, right? We've all seen this happen to celebrities. They make a mistake and then everybody just tears them apart. And it's now easier than ever because if you're on social platforms, it gives people like these cool little digital soapboxes to stand on and point their finger at you and judge you. So you just can't make a mistake. Oh my gosh, what would happen? Number 6. What if your success makes your partner feel inadequate and they leave you? Ooh. This one used to come up a lot with my clients. A lot. Because there are plenty of relationships that may be slightly dysfunctional and codependent, and your partner makes more money than you. And that's part of why you are together, because you kind of sort of need them to survive. So what happens if you change all that and now you don't need them? And then what happens, how they feel about you? Because it makes them feel really insecure because suddenly you're boss bitch. It's a real thing, people. I have had so many clients who literally that was at the root of why they would not play full out. That's why they wouldn't post consistently. That's why when they had a good month, the next month they would be flat. It was literally because of that relationship thing, that their partner made more money and they needed to rely on them. And if they made more money, it would change their entire relationship dynamics. And they were not willing to do that because they were more invested in staying small and needy and dependent on their partner in the relationship than they were committed to actually growing themselves personally, professionally, spiritually, and financially. That they were more dedicated to their partner's well-being and how they thought of them. that is seriously messed up, but it is what happens. And I was partially in that position too. I'm not going to lie. Like when I started to really amplify myself online in my business, it brought up a lot of problems with me and my husband. And you know what also happened was it created a shift in our roles. And now I'm the breadwinner. My husband is basically retired. He's living his best life as a farmer, and he kind of does like side work here and there when he feels like it. But like, I'm the breadwinner of the family now, but I used to not be. And it was significant of a shift, this big swing. So imagine what that did to our relationship. Fortunately, we've come through in a really positive position. Now, number 7, we have 2 more. What if your success puts you in a different financial situation and people begin asking you for money? That is number 7. What if you start being such a baller that people just are like, oh, hey, Tracy and Edna and Cindy and Brandy, you have loads of money, so why can't you give more to the PTA? You should be able to give more to this charity. Or I need a handout because I need a new car. You have money for a new car. Why don't you? You're being stingy. You have the money. You can afford it. I need a new house. I think of like The Rock, and he's like a gazillionaire, and it seems like when I follow him, like, it seems like he's always buying another family member another like mansion. It's like, well, I mean, that's his money. It's your business. But I think he also has the mindset like he wants to give back, but I'm sure as hell there are probably cousins and aunties coming out of the woodwork who are like, hey, remember me from when that time? Right? Number 8, what if your taxes and health insurance go up? That is a sticker for me too. I know when I started making more money, I was in a low tax bracket, and so I paid less for health insurance. And then suddenly things started to change, and I was going gulp. And not only taxes and health insurance, but your bookkeeping costs go up. Like you're going to have more transactions every month. This happened to me. My bookkeeper reached out to me like a year or so ago, and she's like, there's good news. Your business is growing. I'm so happy you're having this exponential growth, and like you're doing the damn thing. You're doing what you said you were going to do years ago when we first started working together, and it's so cool to watch you. Also, now you're in the highest bracket because you have so many transactions happening that we need to do more reconciliation. It's going to take more time. So we have to up your charge. It's like, oh, okay. So it's 4 times the price it was 4 years ago, which is a good thing, but I kind of wish that I wasn't paying all that money right now. It is what it is. He said, I'm kind of scared because if I'll accumulate more debt. But you know what, Edna? You don't have to be afraid of debt, because here's the thing about debt. You will always be able to make more money. You will always be able to make more money. And if you're starting to really pay attention to the things that I'm teaching you, you'll have the strategies, you'll have the intuition, you'll have the connection to be able to make these sales no problem. So you can go, well, maybe I had a slower month, but I have these different ways that I know I can generate money, so I don't have to panic and worry. And I know that to be true because it's happened for myself. Is like you can come back to yourself to go, all right, so what are some ways that I can hit this unreasonable, crazy ass goal that I set up for myself? How can I innovate? How can I use my intuition? How can I lean into my soulmate client? How can I lean in and do some more research to see what people truly want from me? And I can take that $100 sale and suddenly turn it into a $300 sale. Whoa, what would that do for me in my business? And so, debt is part of running a business too. When I started my business, I had debt, and today I have debt. So when I run Facebook ads, it's a negative, right? Until the launch is over, and then all of a sudden the money comes flowing back and I pay myself back. But it's going to be that cycle, and it will be okay. I hold retreats, and every time I hold a retreat, I pay for the retreat house. So that is a debt. But as soon as somebody joins, that paid for the whole house. Then I can invest in a chef, and that is a debt. But as soon as another person joins, it pays for the chef. And then I'm going to get gift bags, and I'm going to have to invest in maybe hundreds or thousands of dollars in gift bags or other services or other extras or other activities. That's a debt. And guess what? When people join, it pays for itself. And then I walk away as on top in the green, right? Or in the black, I should say, right? So I'm making money, but the first initial investment was a red. It was a debt. It was a minus. It was a deduction. So we have to understand that we can always make more money. We don't have more time. So it's important to use your time. Again, I'm going to say it again, you are the value. So if you're the most valuable asset in your company, you cannot afford to discount yourself. Okay, I hope that's clear. Anybody have any questions about the Intuitive Leadership Series or about anything that I just went over that was unclear for those of you who are on live? My goal was that this was helpful, that you can now take action on it. You can start moving the needle forward in the areas that you know, and you can start making some changes. You're interested in my retreats. Thank you very much. See, Cindy, thank you for proving my point yet again. So Cindy says, I'm interested in the thing that you don't offer right now, basically to me. I want that, okay? So this is how you start to do research. There's going to be Cindy's in your life too who go, oh, I want that thing that you do that time. You know, somebody reached out to me. Oh, I thought, are you going to be doing a live in-person event? I would love to come to that. Okay, right? So if there's enough of those people who want that thing, it makes it a no-brainer to offer it. What do you want? You want a retreat? When do you want it? What do you want included? Okay, great. Now I just made a product. Here, now you can buy it. Okay, great. I've just bought it. That's how easy it literally can be if you want it to be. And these are some of the ways that I had and do still grow my business. It's a smart way to do it. So I appreciate you all for hanging out with me for the last 46 minutes. Oh my gosh. I was trying to be as fast as possible, but you know I can be a little long-winded when I get excited about something, and these are things that really light me up. I'm very passionate about. I'm truly here to help more transformational healers, coaches, or other kinds of healers in different modalities, whether you're a life coach, business coach, fitness coach, hairstylist, you said you're an osteopath, like chiropractor. If you are doing services and you have a service-based business, I would love to still help support you in creating a profitable business. This is part of what I'm teaching in the Intuitive Leadership Series. And then for those of you who are like really action takers and wanting to dedicate yourself more in depth, my certification, the Integrated Energy Alignment certification, is coming up right around the corner at the end of this month, the 26th. It's going to reopen. That is the first and only energy-based healing modality with a profit guarantee. And the reason why I guarantee the profit is because throughout the training, within the confines of the certification, you can make up to $1,000, if not more for some people. And that's just within the certification. And then after the certification, you have the skill set in order to raise your rates, and you'll have the confidence to back up why you be increasing your prices. So if you want to get on the wait list, we are adding to the wait list pretty rapidly. I'm taking a small group of people in the journey of that certification. You'll get to start the certification when you join at the end of October 26th. You're interested in the certification, Bernie? All right, so emilyaarons.com/IEA. All these links are available on my website. If you just want to poke around, you're welcome to do that. These are the direct links as well. But the certification, it reopens on October 26th, which is the same day of the Intuitive Leadership Series. We can talk more about that in the series. And then it closes on November 11th. Folks who apply early will be given all of the goodies. So from October 26th to November 2nd, that 1 week period, you're going to get $500 off if you submit your application right away. So you might not be 100% sure you're going to go through with it. But if you're feeling the call and there's a resonance now, I would say get on the wait list immediately. And then when the doors open, I would say get your application in as soon as possible. We're only taking a limited number. And again, that $500 discount goes a long way. For those of you who are in Mastering Ascension, you will have an additional $250 off. So you can have, if you're an M&A member, you can have up to $750 off just for getting your application in early for the certification. So it is worthwhile to get on the wait list. And this is part of the certification as well. I'm teaching you how to create a profitable business, because that's truly what matters. I know you're here to make an impact, but you also deserve to have income as well. So thank you all for hanging out with me so much. Again, Intuitive Leadership Series is emilyarons.com/leadership. And if you'd like to get on the wait list or join the Integrated Energy Alignment Practitioner Certification, that is emilyarons.com/IEA. And you can do that. Doors open October 26th for applications, and they close November 11th, 11/11. So you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It really means the world. If you are a avid podcast listener and you are super geeking out about this episode, would you be so kind as to say something nice about it on iTunes? Share it with a friend, or otherwise just share it on your social media and tell people you got to tune into this episode. You got to check out Emily or follow her, get on the email list, whatever. The more that you love it and enjoy these things, the more the love spreads. So pay it forward, hit the like button, hit the heart button, or hit the share button, and send it to somebody you care about. Lots of love to you. Thank you for being here. Have a good one. I'll see you on the next episode.